Hi, everyone. Deborah Sampson became a hero of the American Revolution in the late 1790s, though not in the way that any of us would really expect. In 1796, Herman Mann wrote the Female Review and provided readers with a memoir of a detailed history of Deborah's experiences. She was born in 1760 in Massachusetts as one of 7 children. Her mother couldn't afford to feed and clothe all of her siblings after their father died, and so at the age of 10, Deborah was indentured to a local deacon and his family. Mann writes a great deal of romanticizing the story. Portions of his book were later proven either his own conjecture, pure falsification, or just incorrect, but it was believed that he did it for readership. At 18, Deborah completed her indenture and she wanted to travel, but she knew a young lady that was alone and had no money wouldn't be able to afford to travel. She also knew that the work that she could do as a young lady would not afford her the travel that she wanted. So she decided that she would join the Continental Army, because if she did so, not only would she travel, her travel expenses would be covered and she would make an honest wage. William Frederick Norwood writes in Alias Robert Shirtliff that she began as a young man by the name of Timothy Thayer. She marched into town, enlisted, and received a signing bonus. According to Norwood, the enlistment apparently seemed to her to be a lark, because when the enlistees were called up to duty, Timothy Thayer was nowhere to be seen. A local lady said she recognized the way Thayer had signed the enlistment papers, and that reminded her of Sampson, and therefore Deborah was exposed. She stayed out of sight for a few months. Then she did purchase a suit, and she enlisted in the 4th Massachusetts Regiment under the name Robert Shirtliff. Her first combat was in 1782, and she was a scout in the area, and she was also involved in hand-to-hand combat and skirmishes. During one of these skirmishes, she was shot in the thigh. She even removed the bullet herself. In 1783, while in Philadelphia with her fellow troops, she came down with a fever and sank into a coma. The doctor who finally discovered her secret was actually checking for a heartbeat, because he thought that Robert was deceased and ready to be taken out with the other dead. The doctor then wrote a letter to Robert's general, and she delivered it in person as Robert in uniform. The general asked her if what the letter said was true, and she said that it was. She was allowed to dress as Deborah and was escorted through the camp. It said that none of her fellow soldiers recognized her. She was given an honorable discharge for her service and her injury in the line of duty. After discharge, she was married, had 3 children, and even received a pension of $48 per year. Research reveals that only 3 women served during the Revolutionary War, and she was the only one known to disguise herself as a man and serve in combat in the Continental Army. While it cannot be known for certain, it is a probable conclusion that during this age, there would not have been anyone brave or foolish enough to have filled her shoes. This was a huge undertaking for women and extremely dangerous at the time. She still holds importance today because she individually broke the chains that held women down to their place, which was at home. While her enlistment was not necessarily for patriotism's sake alone, she was a soldier in the Patriot Army, and she served with distinction. Having a famous woman from this period in this type of situation was and is very important. While her service did not in any way effectuate the positive outcome of the war like other heroes, her actions showed determination, creativeness towards a goal, and an inner strength and fight for women's right to assist in a cause that was greater than themselves, or even to better their own station in life. She broke all barriers at the time, even if she had to do it dressed as a man, but she still stepped outside the societal norms. Later in life, she was said to have dressed in her full military regalia and made public lectures about her experiences and her service and adventure as an American soldier. She was also the first woman to be paid for public lectures. Amazing woman. Thank you.